Hello and welcome to my channel. So how's quarantine treating you lately? I hope you're keeping yourself safe and healthy. Today I'd like to talk to you about something relevant in this new normal of ours. With work from home and homeschooling as the new norm, people have been emptying out computer stores because it's one of the necessities nowadays. And believe it or not, even the expensive Macbooks are hard to come by. So we might be stuck with old PCs and Macbooks for the meantime. But these devices might not work properly as they used to, right? Well, at least not as efficiently. But don't throw them away just yet. This video might be the solution you're looking for. Well, instead of buying a new laptop. So here's a little story. I was using a MacBook Air a few days ago until I decided to sell it because it had limited storage. It was a 2014 model and it works just fine, maybe even better than newer PCs. That's how Macs are apparently. So I sold it and switched to a MacBook Pro. It was a 2012 model, 2 years older than the previous Mac that I have, but it was in pristine condition and had a higher storage capacity. But it's 2 years older, and that's the compromise. At first it seemed to work well, and then I realized it was slow, so I decided to upgrade the memory. I was having a hard time looking for that compatible memory with my MacBook. Then I got this advice to upgrade the hard drive from an old SATA into a solid-state drive. I could have upgraded to a 1TB, but it was too expensive, so I just kept it at 500 gigs. So about this DIY, this one requires some tinkering into the insides of your MacBook, so proceed with caution. But first you must install this Blackmagic Disk Speed Test to benchmark any speed improvements. And of course you'll also need an SSD. I got this Kingston 480 gigs that promises a 10x boost. We will also need a drive enclosure. This one is a 3.0, so it transfers fast. So instead of formatting and installing everything, what we will do is to clone the main drive. So at this point we will need to connect the new SSD into this drive enclosure. At first I thought of doing the clone using the OS recovery and disk utility, but somewhere along the way I think I made some mistakes, or perhaps the hard drive is encrypted. I really don't know what happened, but to cut the long story short, it was a failed attempt. I've seen some YouTube videos with a successful disk utility cloning. But if it doesn't work, we need to install the Carbon Copy Cloner. It's not a free app, but during the trial period, you can use it and use all its functionalities. Using the Carbon Copy Cloner is pretty straightforward, as it just copies what's in your main drive into the new SSD. It will take a while, especially if you have a high-capacity hard drive. When the cloning process is completed, always make sure that the new drive is properly initiated and that the drives are now identical. As you can see here, we're just using the USB connection of the drive enclosure. Just make sure that nothing disconnects during the cloning process. Before permanently installing the new SSD into the MacBook, make sure that it boots properly and it does not present any error. At this point, we will see that the new SSD is working properly and the boot up was successful. It just took a while to get into Mac OS because the new SSD is not yet permanently installed and we're just running the connection through the USB. And of course, you expect a faster boot up when we have finally installed the SSD inside the Mac. At this point, we will see that the system is reading the new SSD properly. And you will also see that we have not installed any additional memory. After making sure that the new drive is working properly, it is now time to install it inside the Macbook. We will now open the bottom panel of the Macbook and make sure you memorize the positioning of these screws, because some screws are longer than the others. And since we have access to the insides of the MacBook, we now have the chance to remove some of the built-up dust accumulated over the years. The old mechanical drive is held down by 4 screws, but before doing anything else, we must first remove the battery connection. These are the drives side by side. This is the old one, the mechanical drive. We need to remove these locking screws on the sides and place it on the new SSD. Now here's the new SSD, ready to be installed into the MacBook. Be very gentle when tightening these small screws. It's easy to ruin them. And of course, do not forget to reconnect the battery to the main board. And since I want to test first if everything is okay, I decided not to put on all the bottom panel screws, in case I have to open it up again. Upon quick checking, the clone drive is now the system drive of this MacBook Pro. And even without adding additional memory into this MacBook, I already feel that it works faster. Now you don't have to take my word for it, see the results for yourself. We are going to do another disk speed test to see if there are any improvements. And here it is, side by side. The old mechanical drive writes 74.3 Mbps and reads 40.2, while the new drive writes 453.2 Mbps and reads 370.6 Mbps. And yes, that's almost 10 times faster read rate. And you also get a bonus. Your old mechanical drive with the drive enclosure may now be used as an external drive. And that is it, dear friends. That is how you speed up by upgrading your MacBook Pro to a new SSD. Mask up and keep your hands clean. See you in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.